I believe in putting the horror in the mind of the audience and not necessarily on the screen. I once made a movie, rather tongue-in-cheek, called Psycho.
Yes. Very well.
Of course, a lot of people looked at this thing and said, what a dreadful thing to do, how awful, and so forth. But of course, it was, to me, it had great elements of the cinema in it. The content as such was, I felt, rather amusing. And it was a big joke, you know. And I was horrified to find that some people took it seriously. It was intended to cause people to scream and yell and so forth, but no more than the screaming and yelling on the switchback railway. Now, this film had a horrible scene at the beginning of a girl being murdered in a shower.
Yeah.
Well, I deliberately made that pretty rough. But as the film developed, I put less and less physical horror into it, because I was leaving that in the mind of the audience. And as the film went on, there was less and less violence, but the tension in the mind of the viewer was increased considerably. I was transferring it from film into their minds. So towards the end, I had no violence at all. But the audience by this time was screaming in agony, thank goodness.
You mentioned a switchback railway. You do see yourself as a kind of switchback railway operator.
Well, I'm possibly, in some respects, the man who says, in constructing it, how steep can we make the first dip? And this will make them scream. If you make the dip too deep, the screams will continue as the whole car goes over the edge and destroys everyone. But therefore, you mustn't go too far, because you do want them to get off the switchback railway giggling with pleasure, like the woman who comes out of the movie, the very sentimental movie, and says, oh, I had a good cry.